Okay, here's D minor blues, just played once through as written. If you want to play it as a loop, here's how that might sound. What I'm going to do is when I play that very last measure, which is hammering onto the D minor, that's how you do that last measure. What I can do is just hang on that D minor, and then that would take me to measure 3. So if I hang on that D minor after the hammer on, that takes up, or that takes the place of the first 2 measures of the song. So here's how that might sound like as a loop. Check out measure 16, the part that goes so preceding it, measure 15. Here's a little ornamentation you can add there. Instead of just starting on the 5th fret on the 4th string, you can move your 3rd finger to the 7th fret and then do a little reverse slide from the 7th fret down to the 5th fret. So it's going to sound like this. Again, it's a really quick slide, almost like a little ghost note on the 7th fret of the 4th string, like that. So remember that as written on the sheet music, each measure of D minor blues is based on a chord form, a grip. And so what you do is you just hold that chord shape down and play through the notes of the measure, the specific rhythmic structure. So for instance, in measures 1 and 2, you hold the open D minor chord down, but you play the notes as written. And then you switch to the G minor. And so this is like a form of a G minor chord. A typical G minor chord is a bar chord like this, but in this case, this one works fine. And then in the A7 measure, you kind of have to hammer onto the first note, and in the process of doing that, your fingers make the rest of the chord. And then you slide up to that E minor. And then you put that D minor chord shape down, back down for measure 7. Measure 8 is an F major chord, a bar chord. Then you put a C chord down, but it's kind of a unique C chord because you don't need the high C on the B string on the second string. You can just leave it. You don't have to press anything because you're actually not playing that string. Sorry, one more time. And then the B flat is kind of this kind of like a rock and roll B flat chord. Like that. And then A major. You can use just one finger to play this one if you want, as opposed to using 3 fingers, which is common. And then it ends on that D minor, which is actually an interesting measure because it reminds me of what we've been looking at in the last few weeks with sus chords. So if you look carefully at that measure, you're supposed to play 5, 5, 5, 5 for like an 8th note first. That's going to be a bar. And then hammer on to strings 2 and 4 with your second and third finger to change the chord to a D minor 7. It's actually a D minor 7. I just wrote D minor. So when you play the 5, 5, 5, 5, that's actually a D9 sus 4. So that's kind of a neat way to end the song. Okay, so hold those chord shapes down as you play through those measures. So hopefully this demo video helps a little bit. Practice the blues.